It's that time again. It's time for another Saturday night special where we talk about everything rockhounding related. Hope you guys had a fabulous week. I'm going to start this one out with a recommendation. This is absolutely incredible. This is a book/magazine published by the one and only the Lapidary Journal, the Agates of North America. And pretty much, this is a collection of agate-related articles from the early years of Lapidary Journal, like 1947 to 65. And you should pause this video, write this name down, and go find it. I'm sure there's not a whole lot of these left in the world, but if you love agates, or I don't love somebody that loves agates, this is a great thing to buy or as a gift. It was republished a number of times. I think it was, so 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 75, and 79, so we have a whole bunch of amazing articles here. It's an incredible book, very in depth, very rich piece of literature that I think if you like agates, you will like this. There's something for everybody in it. And I spent some time this week dealing with agates, thinking about these things, and well, there's an allure to them that I feel like maybe isn't represented very well in other rocks. And I get it. Like, they come in a wide variety of cool things, like this Yellowstone River agate, which I really need to cut this one. I'm thinking like I might hold it over on this side and we slice through it like that, But we have a whole bunch of different agates that are very diverse. This piece right here that I collected in Utah. And I don't generally subscribe to the very strict definition of an agate. I mean, pretty much it's okay, in my opinion, for anything that's like, chalcedony plus a bunch of junk to be kind of lumped into the overarching umbrella, which is agate. And, even in that book, Johnson Canis wrote an article agreeing with that statement. He shares that sentiment that's kind of what we do, even if it is not mineralogically the most correct thing. I tend to agree that we can call these things agates, even if they do not have the banding. If we have different dendrites, if we have different like pluming structures, we can just call it that. Here's another one which I really need. I need like a giant saw. So this is a partial thunder egg from the canyon rim bed that we collected, and it's begging for a face cut, like cut like an inch off of it. And I have a whole bunch of locations that I want to visit this spring and do some agate collecting. But what is it about these? I think it's that they're kind of just like a gateway. They're a gateway into other rocks, other minerals, other things of interest. And generally, I lump the popular things into quartz crystals, agates, jaspers, and petrified wood. And thunder eggs are a parallel. Thunder eggs are a parallel to that whole agate thing, because generally they have some type of chalcedony with plumes and banding and all the things in it. This past summer, though, we did head out to Western Washington and collected some jasper. I cut this piece, and it's really hard to see and do it justice in here, but we'll look at a photo of the end cut outside. It is an impressive piece. I'm contemplating just doing a face polish on it, because face polishes are beautiful, and that's kind of what I like, And as we get deeper and deeper into it, you know, these things that definitely have the potential to be more flashy. Like here, hold on. I got a jar somewhere here of some Lake Superior agates, which are polished. Forgive my lack of preparation here. Look at these. I get it. I get why people like these. Look at that one right there, that white one. Very nice. Very nice little agate, or that Columbia River Basin agate. You gonna focus? Do you hate me today? Beautiful piece. Kind of not so beautiful on the outside. Beautiful on the inside, though. Well, I think once you get attracted to the hobby of rock hounding for, you know, these beautiful pieces, you do start to gain appreciation of other things, other rocks. One thing that I have learned to appreciate is all of the cool displays of rocks that are out there, which that's kind of a weird thing to try to like appreciate. But because of Sarah's work, we end up going to a lot of regional colleges, and I always go to like the science building, or, you know, whatever, if they have like an earth sciences building and geology program. There's almost always some cool rocks on display. You know, I have yet to go to a college that doesn't have something. I'm sure they're out there, but in this case, we were down in Pasco, Washington, and we went to the Columbia Basin Community College, and she was working there, and I was meandering around, and sure enough, they have quite the hefty petrified log sitting in the hallway. I guess at 3,400 pounds, there's no risk of it growing feet and walking away, so you don't have to, it's not in a display case, just kind of sitting out. But they didn't have a whole lot else, but, you know, that kind of, the sheer size of this thing makes up for it. So it's kind of cool to see and just kind of explore that other side of it. You know, we're always involved in this very like flashy side of rock hounding, but from the geologic education standpoint, that's not less important. And you do get to see a lot of cool kind of local and regional stuff on display when you go and check out some of these things at some of the different schools, which I like. And in that process, you start to develop over time an appreciation for other things, super not flashy things. And for me, that has really manifested itself into, well, zeolite. It's a zeolite group of minerals, because zeolite is a group and not a specific thing. This past week, put up the video from the Lincoln Creek Quarry, going out there in western Washington and collecting some naturalite. Some of these beautiful little guys, which I greatly like, and even mounted up some of just some loose, let's get the little ID out of the way, some of the loose little needles. Makes me happy to see. There's this kind of process that I've gone through, and I've observed it in other people as well. I don't think this is unique to me, where you start with the big flashy things, and eventually your collection grows and grows to the point where you start to aim smaller. And even perhaps just having some nice displayed finished pieces can be really nice to have, such as this. These cases are, it's a Riker case, and even though we're not entirely agate in here, I mean, we have some jasper in there, and there. Well, I guess half of it's jasper, more than half of it's jasper, but you get it. We have some beautiful stuff. I didn't do these, but I did put them in the case. So I did the easy part. No, these were a gift, but it does go to show. Is it going to stay there? Yeah, there we go. It does go to show, well, now that's shiny. Okay, well, we're going to put it over here. It does go to show some of the diversity of this, which is very, very cool to see things side by side. I'm going to get it out of the way. This is way too shiny. Way too shiny. Man, the weather is starting to get a little bit better out here, which makes me excited as well. We spent a little bit of time outside. One of the nice things about living in Northeast Washington is we have plenty of access to, well, what I like to call like low effort outdoor activity. We have a lot of trails. We have a lot of rail trails, and even if it's like been kind of cruddy and snowy and icy and not the most enjoyable, these are generally free and clear. So we went and did some of that this week and walked around in some, I mean, it was cold, but you know, it was sunny. Walked around on a trail, paved rail trail. And the nice thing with some of the rail trails out here is, well, you're walking on former train tracks. And you get to see interesting rocks in geology. Generally, it's going to be basalt, but sometimes cool stuff comes along with basalt. And, you know, it's just nice to get out. It's giving me, I'm getting that itch. I'm getting that taste of springtime. We got to talk a little bit about last week's Saturday night special. I'm never going to probably get good at this. And when I say get good at it, just figuring out what people will interpret as, like, you know, kind of kicking the hornet's nest. I've came to the conclusion that about every 100 videos that I put up on the internet, it will make a certain percentage of people very, very unhappy. And that's just kind of like the thermodynamic rules of the internet. You're not going to please everyone. And, you know, as an example, the videos got, I want to say almost 500,000 views in the past 3 months. A certain percentage of those people are not going to be happy with whatever I'm saying, and that's just the, the way that's going to be, right? Well, talking about MK Diamond running themselves into the ground certainly upset a decent number of people for whatever reason, I'm not sure. I find it fascinating, though, and the part that's fascinating to me is that when somebody takes the criticism of a company to be a reflection on you. It's not a reflection on you. You know, and it's kind of like that whole, like, I'm trying to think of an analogy, like a Ford guy versus a Dodge guy. Like, I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, and if you criticize the Packers, you're defaultly criticizing me. And it's like, nah, you know, I didn't address a bunch of things. So let me correct the record a little bit when it comes to the MK Diamond thing. I did reach out to them for comment. I gave them plenty of time to respond to me, which I have still yet to get a response back from them. And, you know, giving a company multiple days to respond to something, I think, is fair. And, you know, in the world of media, when you see, like, in the news or something, they're like, we reached out to so-and-so for comment, they generally do it in a really kind of cruddy and disingenuous way. What they'll do is they'll be like, we're going to be publishing an article in 1 hour. Please respond to all of these things. And obviously, maybe, like, they send it to you at 11 o'clock at night, so that you're not going to respond by their deadline, and then they can write into their article like, oh, like, we reached out to them for comment, and they didn't respond, as if it's like a point of condemning them, and they're just being a cruddy journalist. I did not do that. I give people plenty of time. They did not get back to me because they're a dead company walking, you know? So it upset a lot of people on Facebook and other places. And what can I say? You know, you say enough things and you're going to make somebody upset. I didn't even also address the whole rumor that MK Diamond doesn't even make their own stuff, and they haven't for years and years and years. I have no way of really confirming that. That is a rumor that has been said many times. many places for many years by many different people, that they're importing their blades from a company in South Korea and sticking their MK diamond sticker on it and trying to ride the coattails of their pedigree. I have no proof of that. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying that that is a rumor. Now, to prove that, you would need like an insider to be like, this is what's happening and here's the smoking gun. Or I would have to have some of those blades from that company in South Korea that are not branded, and then MK blades from like known supposed manufacturer years. And then you can match up potential tooling marks under the microscope, pretty much doing exactly what, doing like low-end budget forensics. You know, I mean, if you take a gun and you shoot a gun, they can match the bullet to the barrel because it leaves unique marks. The stamping presses that punch out the saw body blanks, let me grab one here. That punch out the saw body blanks will leave unique marks on here that you're not going to see with your naked eye, but like you can potentially see them around parts. Not worth it. They're done. They're done. And I don't retract anything I said. If you didn't like it, well, there's I don't know. Go watch another video. And while I'm being critical of companies, let's just continue. I'll find another hornet's nest. We'll just kick it right now. I thought it would be fun. I would like to share my opinion of what the future landscape of lapidary companies will look like in the coming 5 to 10 years. Because I have some theories. I think they're mostly based in fact, and what's not based in fact is based in anecdotal experience, as well as some of the anecdotal claims that I have received from you guys here. So, I think the future of a couple of companies is slightly bleak. It's not looking super good. And the two that come to mind, subject to change of course, and if you own some of these products, it's not a reflection on you. This is a reflection on the last, let's just say 3 months of trying to interact with these companies. And those would be Loretone and Diamond Pacific. I've emailed Loretone a couple of different things over the past year and a half and never received a response email. Just kind of, I had a couple of questions about like where I could find like a specific bearing, and they were just like, no, nowhere to be. They didn't respond. I also tried calling them, left a message, didn't ever call back. Diamond Pacific, they had a flat lap for sale, and Lapidary Dave did a review of the flat lap, and I was looking at their product listing on their website, and I'm like, well, you know, they don't list like motor specs on it. I'm just curious, like, what's up with the Diamond Pacific flat lap, because it looks like a good flat lap. So I just sent them an email, like, what are the motor specs? Never got back to me. Sent them another email a week later, never got back to me, and that was that. I'm like, well, you know, they make a good machine. The Genies are good, the Titans are good, they make good products. But they're not making new products. Same thing with Loretone. Like, they're not like being innovative. They're not coming out with the latest and greatest next best thing. And when you don't respond to like a light inquiry, that makes me worry. I worry personally about buying stuff from companies where, in the worst case scenario, let's say it got damaged during shipping, what's that experience gonna be like? If they can't be like, it runs on a 1/4 horsepower motor. If they can't write that and send it in an email, like, what's it gonna be like when I'm like, hey guys, you forgot a part? Are they gonna respond to that higher effort inquiry quicker? Like, I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Like, just your thoughts right there. I reached out to those two companies multiple times over a long period of time with just like little, like, hey, I got a little question, guys. And crickets. It doesn't give me a lot of confidence. I think Highland Park Lapidary will be becoming an even bigger player in the coming 5 to 10 years. If they can get their customer service really dialed in with U.S. representatives, and they can have a warehouse in America, because their stuff's all made in China, they can have a warehouse here and bring machines in mass and stockpile them in a warehouse. So when you buy, they like take it off of a shelf in Boston and ship it to you. If they can manage that, they're going to be like set themselves up as like the absolute front runner of this whole like lapidary machine production thing. Also, Rentel International, who owns High Tech Diamond and Cab King and Tumblebee. Who else? They own another company. I can't think of their name. They need to be a little more innovative with some like new fresh products. They're not really making anything like hot and fresh off the off the grill that you can just be like, yeah, something awesome and amazing and new. But they do have amazing customer service. They do have great shipping, and they just get stuff out, even if it's kind of it's the same things that we've had for a very long time. Couple of other players that I think are going to be key in the future would be maybe Kingsley North. They've started to produce their own line of cab machines, and they're very cost effective. They're stainless steel. I like all of those things. I like that they do not use a through shaft design on their cab machines. I put up a poll here on the community tab, which go check that out. And it was kind of like Cab King versus the 8-inch Cab King versus the Titan from Diamond Pacific. They essentially have identical specifications, except one is like $2,400 and the other one's like $4,600. Now, I think the thing that I've saw a number of you guys leave this comment, and I've seen elsewhere, is that you buy the Cab King for the $2,400 because it's perfectly good motor, perfectly good everything. And once you wear through those sets of wheels, you buy the superior Diamond Pacific wheels and you put it on your Cab King, which, I've heard that a lot. And that would be significant savings over the long run. And both of those cab machines, from what I can tell, have fantastic reviews. I mean, I talked to one person who has been running their Cab King about every single day they're working on it for 8 years, which that is impressive. That's impressive. And I've heard similar things from people using Diamond Pacific, Genies, and Titans. Now, they've, of course, been around a lot longer, so there's kind of more of a track record there. But we come back to that whole customer service thing. I guarantee you, if anybody watching this emails Cab King right now, you'll definitely get a response really quickly versus Diamond Pacific. At least for me, I didn't get any response, which bums me out. It bums me out. And really, that's who we got left, which I wish there was more good options. We do have Covington Engineering down in Idaho. They need stuff. They need to make some improvements on their production timelines and their website, and do some stuff. But really, like, it's a shame to look through old publications, old books, and see like this like consolidation and reduction over time of these companies. People will be picking up the slack, though. I'm sure John over there at Highland Park is going to probably be doing something with more lapidary blades, especially MK Diamond's out of the running now. So I mean, I struggle with it. I struggle with this whole concept of buying international. I used to really be this like, buy everything local, buy everything American made's good, everything international bad. And I just don't think that's the case anymore. Like, in the perfect world, everything would be made here in America, but that comes at a high cost. And we can see from that poll, people prefer the Cab King over the Titan. I mean, like, $4,600 for an 8-inch cab machine is a lot of money. It just is. And yeah, it's made in Barstow. Wait, it's made in Barstow? I think it's in Barstow, California. But we got to... What do you do? What do you do? I don't know. I'm rambling now. And when I start to ramble, that's probably the time to put a pin in this week's Saturday night special. Let me know what you think. There's a lot here to unpack. I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend. And with that said, we're going to leave this one here. Go check out currentlyrockhounding.com. If you're able to support the project, you can do so by heading on over to Patreon. You can watch the videos early, ad-free. There's also a bunch of exclusive videos over there that you have never seen, and there'll be a link to it down below. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next video.